Welcome, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Today's guest is Shaheen Mazloom, the founder of Versa Business Systems. And he and I were chatting a little bit before. We share a good bit in common because our passions are really helping small and medium businesses kind of be able to focus on what they do best, kind of figuring out ways to not have them waste their time on what they don't need to. So I'm looking forward to hearing how he's streamlining some operations with some powerful business solutions. And honestly, Shane, what really stood out to me is kind of how you're blending your deep technical expertise with a clear passion for helping those businesses really simplify their complexity and just operate more efficiently. So, welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate you having me on, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, let's take us back a little bit. Tell us about your journey that led you to the Versa Business Systems. Was there a moment or experience that just really sparked the idea for to start the company?
It's crazy. It kind of happened throughout my whole life, right? Like I was born and raised on a cattle farm in England, so I've been working since I was in diapers, right? When you're born on a farm or spending your summers on a farm, you got no choice but to work. It's just so
Right.
work has always been kind of fun to me. That was what we did with our grandfather and our uncle. We enjoyed it. My family made working fun, and so I've always been a workhorse. I started my first business when I was 7 years old. Moved to
Wow.
Minnesota from England in '95, and they had the worst winter they'd ever had. We got 3 foot of snow in a weekend. And so we started by shoveling people out of their homes, and then next thing you know, we're cutting grass and raking leaves in the fall, and doing all the things. We had other kids in other neighborhoods working for us, and it was a great learning experience. But it's funny, my dad started to notice we were only like cutting people's grass like one time. We didn't create a lot of repeat customers, and when you're kids, you don't really think about that stuff, right? You're like, man, I got $20 for cutting this person's grass.
Yep.
You're not like, hey, I could do this every week, and but anyways, he said to me, he said it's better to make $5 5 times than it is to make $10 one time.
Mm,
And I don't know if I really understood what he was saying at the time, but we did. We lowered our pricing and we started having repeat customers. We started focusing on, getting repeat customers and having them keep coming back to us and just giving them a good deal from the jump, and obviously doing good work.
right.
And so, I got into business to business and sales, and learned as much as I could about selling and business solutions and operating and growing businesses. And, about 8 years ago, I decided to, what, that's what I want to do with my life is help businesses grow, working for different sales companies in the B2B space. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's crazy. Like most salespeople in B2B are just taking advantage of what business owners don't know. Instead of educating them and giving them a good deal, they're like, "Oh, dude, this I can hit this guy over the head because he doesn't know any better." And it's like it doesn't need to be that way, right?
Right.
If you can create a lifelong customer, give them a good deal. Yeah, sure, you might make a lot less than the other guys out there, but you're going to do 15, 20 times the amount of business with this guy. So even if you're making half as much, you're still making 10 times more than everybody else. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, it just kind of led me there, and we started out with strictly we were just doing business funding at first, and I always wanted to brand us as a business consulting firm so we could add other products in the future, and we did. And now we're doing credit card processing and employee benefits, tax credits, AI consulting. We're doing a lot, and we have so many repeat customers that most of our customers are doing everything with us. So it's dude, I love what I do. I love what I do. At the end of the day, there's so many people that are affected by a decision a business makes, right? You've got the business owner and their family. You've got the employees and their families. I mean, you could have hundreds or even thousands of people that are affected by every decision that that business owner makes. And so helping
Yeah.
them make the right decisions and giving them a good deal, you're not just, changing that owner's life, you're changing the lives of hundreds or thousands of people. And it's important to never sell them something they don't need or could damage their business, because then you're hurting hundreds or
Right.
thousands of people. You know what I mean? And I think if
Yeah.
more salespeople realized that and really thought about that, that there wouldn't be so many sleazy guys out there, and there'd be a lot more people out there focusing on helping people and creating more lifelong customers.
What I love is that you're truly leading with your heart,
Yeah,
because you care,
100%.
and when you do that, you can't go wrong. Even if you're getting in
Exactly.
you get yourself in the door, you wow them, you thrill them, and they're pleased with what's going on. They're
Yeah.
going to stick with you because they
A
trust you,
100%.
right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, most sales companies, they ask their guys at the end of the week or the end of the day, how much money did you make today? How much profit today? How much in sales, right? I ask my guys, how much did you help someone today?
Yeah, that's
Right? Like
awesome.
if we lead with helping, the money comes, it's a natural occurrence, right? If you focus on helping someone, the money's going to come. If you focus on money, then you're you're not going to do very well. You might make some money, you might make some big rips here and there, but it's not going to feel good, right? You're not going to have repeat customers. You're going to spend your time prospecting most of your day because you're going to constantly need to chase down new customers. And we don't need to do
Yeah,
that.
lead with the mission, and the rest will follow. Yeah,
100%.
fantastic. I noticed too that you really do emphasize flexibility and support, and it's just kind of consistent with with what you're saying. I
Yeah.
mean, how do you feel like that truly became a core part of your approach? And do you have I'd be curious if you have a story that kind of
Yeah, I
where
mean,
you
so
could.
so like it's partially the way I was brought up. I have an amazing family. I'm very blessed to have
It's awesome.
supportive parents, but parents that instilled good ethics and morals. And I mean, we used to read this. What was it called? It was a book, and it had words like truthfulness and what was it, like truthfulness, honesty, integrity, all these different words, and their values, I guess, so to speak, right? And
Hmm.
it would explain what each of those were. But we started going through that stuff when we were like 4 or 5 years old, right? So like my
Wow.
parents really groomed just being a good person, and instilling that what goes around comes around, right? Like if you do good by people, good things happen, right? It's just a natural occurrence. And so, partially it's the way I was brought up. And then the other part of it is, when I first got into business to business sales, um, I was making a ton of money at like 19, 20 years old, making a couple $100,000 a year, which is awesome. But, I would find out later that like the product we were selling, we were lying to customers.
Hmm.
So like the management was telling us that it was one thing, and it was actually something else on the back end. And so, when I noticed that happening, I'm like, damn, I got to go to another company. And, I went from company to company trying to find a company that just did right by the customers, told them the 100% truth, and you could still make great money. And I never found that company. And so that's why I started Versa,
Just
because
create it.
I wanted to create the company that
Yeah.
I was looking for. I was like, man, like I'm going to spend 30 years. I spent 10 years looking for it and didn't find it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to create it. And, at first it was kind of scary because I'm like, well, maybe my approach of, just doing the right thing and helping people, maybe that's, there's a reason why everybody's not doing that. Um, but that was not the case at all. We started closing at a 50% closing ratio our first month in business. And in funding, the average closing ratio is 10%,
Yeah.
just by
Well,
asking more
there's a
questions
reason.
and actually
Yeah.
giving a crap.
There's a reason other people don't do it. It's not as easy,
Yeah.
right? It takes
Yeah.
work. It takes relationship building.
Dude,
There's
honestly,
a
I think it's easier. I really
Yeah.
do. Like the initial conversation is definitely longer, right? So, like, to give you an example, like most funding companies ask every client four things. So they ask them what the money's for, how much they're doing in revenue monthly, what their credit score is, and how long they've been in business. Four
Hmm.
questions, that's it. Our questions, we have 18 questions that we ask every single customer, right? We're trying to find out what's your exit plan? What are your goals over the next 5 years? What are your goals over the next 10 years? What do you want to be doing in revenue? Do you have a plan to get
Right.
there? How are you planning on getting? We ask a lot to really dive into who they are, what they want, where they're trying to go, so we can be, kind of their partner in helping them get there, right? So it's really just, taking a little bit longer in the initial conversation to learn more about them. And that's the hard part, right? It's instead of a 10-minute conversation, you're having a 30-minute conversation.
Right.
But you're going to close 5 to 10 times the amount of deals. So like it's easier.
Yeah. Too many people are focused on the time to close rather than not
100%. They're
willing to.
focusing on
Yeah.
the now, now, now. How much
Yeah.
money can I
Yeah.
make right now today?
Yeah.
And it's just not. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. One thing I love to explore with people is, what's something people don't always realize about building a business like yours? Like, what surprised you most during this journey?
Um, Dude, honestly, is you don't know what you don't know. And, relationships are everything in business. Being making sure that you're working with people that you can 100% trust.
Mm. Yeah.
When you're first starting a business, you're doing everything, right? Like, you got to figure out marketing, you've got to figure out hiring, you got to figure out training, you got to figure all that stuff out, right? It's the more you know and the more good information that you get, the better, right? But on the flip side of that, if you're watching someone on YouTube and you're taking all their advice and their information and it's not really good advice, they just may happen to have a ton of subscribers or followers, it can really hurt you, right? Like, you've got to really research everybody that you do business with before you do business with them, because it can sound great and they could be a great salesperson, but one decision can cripple a company. One decision can cripple a company. Um, but I also learned that you have to be willing and able to adapt at the drop of a hat, right? Like we
Yeah.
really learned that big time during COVID, right? Like I never in a million years, one, I didn't know a thing about medical supplies, and two, I never imagined I would ever sell wholesale medical supplies. But that's what we had to do because businesses shut down, lenders stopped lending money, and we had the connections to be able to do it. So we were sending medical supplies all over the world. It was,
Very
but
cool.
but we had to adapt. We were able to keep all our employees employed, use our same sales process and everything like that. We just had to adapt it for a different product until we could get back to business as usual. And I think a lot of businesses fail because they don't adapt quick enough.
Hmm.
Like sometimes certain things don't work forever, right? It's the same with marketing, right? The first 4 years we were in business, we did direct mail and we crushed it. We were getting anywhere from a 2 to 4% call-in rate on a full one-page mail
Yeah,
piece.
that's good.
It was expensive, like we're spending a couple $1 million a year in direct mail, but I had to be ready when that started slowing down. So during that time, I'm figuring out other ways and better ways to market. And so when things did slow down and we started getting under a 1% call in rate, I was ready with another form of marketing rather than, okay, now we can't market because we're not getting enough calls. We're not profitable. Now we have to start from scratch or lose the company altogether. Like you got to have backups on backups, right?
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for anything to stop working at any time and be able to have something to adjust to.
Yeah, that's a good transition from the kind of the why you do what you do, which is passionately clear. Like
Yeah.
when you think about like imagine a platform like you have, like Versa. Once people see how much time and confusion it can say. I'm sure it clicks, but how are you typically getting in front of those new clients today?
Yeah.
You talking about marketing, and is it word of mouth? How's that happening?
We do it all, man. So we're on every social media platform, posting every day. We've got a few 100,000 followers and subscribers. A lot of word of mouth, a lot of referrals, a lot of repeat business. But like I said, we sent out millions. We sent out a piece of mail to probably, I don't know, 2 million businesses. Since then, we've emailed probably 2 or 3 million businesses. On top of that, we've dabbled with AI, with texting and voice, and so it's all about just mass, being omnipresent and hitting
Yeah.
everybody from everywhere, every angle. Like I can't even go out to the grocery store most times without somebody being like, "Oh, dude, I seen your stuff on Instagram, or I seen your stuff on YouTube," right? They may not be customers, but the fact is, every single person knows a business owner. It doesn't matter if you're a 3-year-old kid or you're a 90-year-old grandmother, they all know business owners. And so when you're, constantly in front of different people, right? And someone says to grandma that saw my Instagram video, oh yeah, I'm thinking about getting a business loan. Hey, I've been seeing this guy on Instagram. They seem to actually really care about their clients, and they got a bunch of great reviews. Check them out. So we get a lot of inbound, leads at random from all kinds of
Very
sources.
cool. It sounds like you focus on storytelling, which is so
Yeah,
so powerful. Have
yeah, for sure. I
you?
mean, dude, we've helped so many people do so many great things. Like, I love talking about that stuff, man. That's the
Yeah.
feel good, like, like taking a husband and wife that were ready to retire from doing 5 grand a month in their little lawn care business to now doing 150 grand a month with 4 teams, and all they have to do is just manage the
So
payroll,
cool.
and they're chilling. Like I love it.
How are you using any AI tools
Yeah.
to help
Oh
share that
yeah.
more
Yeah.
broadly?
We started implementing AI probably about 4 years ago. So just after COVID, when things started to open back
Hmm.
up, we were trying to figure out how we were going to do our marketing. And before COVID, mail had started to really slow down. The email system that we had built, the guy that built it for me locked me out of it and basically stole it. um,
What?
it was an amazing system. We invested about $100,000 into building it, and yeah, we got robbed, and there's really nothing I could do about it. Um, so we got into AI. I started posting on Facebook, hey, need some great ideas for marketing. And this guy Nick calls me up and he's like, hey man, I'm working with this company WooSender, and it's all AI and automation based. And so it was just text, email, and ringless voicemails. And we built out all these different campaigns, and we would stick the data in there, and it would turn them into appointments for the sales reps.
Right.
And yeah, it was great. It worked great for a long time, and then Twilio had to get involved in that, some scam. Somebody ran a scam through all those Twilio accounts,
Uh,
and then the AI regulations started coming down. You can't have more than a, what is it, a 1% opt out rate. Like, what? Like, even if all the data was opt in, more than 1% change their mind by the time you reach out to them, right? Like,
right.
it's, so it was damn near impossible to keep up with that. So we started doing Google ads and Facebook ads, which was going okay. It was just a lot of fluff in there. People that are looking for a loan that don't have a business, don't have a house, don't have good credit. Like, it's like, why are you even bothering? You know what I mean? But like,
Right.
like, oh, I just need like $50. Like, we're not, you know what I mean? Like, we're not a charity. Like, I can't get you approved anywhere for $50. Like, I just
Yeah.
can't. So we got a lot of that with that. So I started building out an email system again.
Okay.
And it took about a year to really figure it out because Google is constantly changing their things, their securities, and this, that, and the other. And we finally got one built out, and we're able to send thousands of emails a day and land in their inbox. But we're only sending to people that are interested in what we have, right? So, like for funding, for example, we're not buying cold business data. We're buying data of people that have applied for capital
Uh,
recently,
yeah.
or they've taken a loan in the last couple years. And yeah, it's going really well.
And
You know.
is that all automated? Like you send out the email and they actually
Yeah,
end up on your
we just
calendar?
we
Yeah.
load up the data and it's already built out with a campaign, and that runs, and when it turns it into a lead, one of the sales reps gets a notification, and that's that. Then they
Yeah.
take it from there.
Pretty amazing how the amount of time that we used to spend on
Oh, it's
that,
crazy.
following up and the hell,
Yeah.
yes, it's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
well, let's look in the future a little bit. Fast forward 6 to 12 months. I mean, it sounds like you're growing pretty quickly already, but 6 to 12 months from now, what would amazing growth look like for you, for
Yeah,
Versa?
so I mean, our plan over the next 6 to 12 months is to 20x the company. We've added a couple new recent products that's allowing us to do that, but the main thing we're going to focus on is our affiliate and referral program. So
Right.
we're going to automate that and really build it out to make an affiliate or referral partner's lives super easy. Building all the emails out that they can send, build, just everything that they can just, hey, they can drop this email to all of their clients in the click of a button.
Mm-hmm.
And then automating the tracking of the accounting, so they get paid on all their customers that we did business with, and things like that. So we've already started building that out. I think we're actually going to launch in about a month. But that's our big focus, because anybody we've done business with has had nothing but great things to say about us. We're the only B2B company that I know of that's never had a bad review or complaint in 8 years. So, I was thinking about it a few months back, and I'm like, how do we go, how do we get more referrals, right? Because the referrals are always it's going to be the best piece of business, right? Instead
Right.
of, mass emailing and paying for ads and things like that. It's like there's so many people out there that could use some extra money, or maybe they want a new opportunity, a business opportunity to do from home or what have you. And we have the reputation, so it's like, there's companies out there doing it successfully that don't have a great reputation, that don't have a great product. So if they can crush it, I mean, we'll blow it out of the water.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, it's with I think just the way you're approaching your business says it all.
Yeah,
And that's very
technology, man.
interesting,
Like I don't want to manage 100 sales reps.
right?
I need to make sure I need to make it so 10 sales reps can do what 100 sales reps would, you know what I mean? Like if we have the right technology, 10 sales reps could do what used to take 100 sales reps to do,
Right.
right? If
Yeah.
they could just focus on servicing the customer and the sale, they can close 20, 30 deals in a day, whereas without the right technology, they've only
Yeah.
got enough time to close maybe one or two a day.
Hmm. Spend
Yeah.
way too much time on things that aren't their superpower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the busy
Yeah.
the busy work can all be
That's
automated,
right.
whether it's texting, emailing. I mean, I just got this new
Yeah.
AI thing for my email that literally tells me if it needs a response. So like instead
Right.
of me taking the time to open every email I get all day long, because I realized, dude, and I'm already saving 2 hours a day
Oh my, wow.
just by having this one tool. It's
Shows you how much
unbelievable.
time we waste.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
crazy. The amount
Yeah.
of time we waste on so many things. Like your cell phone will tell you, how much time you spend on each app.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, if you can, really, what I did is I wrote down for a week, every time I did something and how long it took me, and I figured out email was one of my biggest time sucks. I spent most of my day on email, replying to emails,
Right.
checking emails, scrolling through and seeing if something's important, like all that stuff. Now I don't need to do any of that, and it's literally got me 2 hours a day back into my life. I mean, that's a
Wow.
lot of time.
Yeah.
That's a
I
lot
think
of
I may
time.
have to try that. I have not gone
Yeah,
there, so
yeah,
I will check that out. I mean, what a fascinating conversation to really think about the I think you position it so well, the growth potential just from identifying ways to stop wasting so much time.
yep,
Yeah.
100%, hundred
Yeah.
percent.
So I was going to ask one last question. What do you think what's the thing you hope to make the biggest impact on? Like when you think back, wow, that's your career. What would you love to see people think about you and your what you've done in your life?
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, I want to be known for that guy that changed people's lives, right? Like I can go back and look at our customer list, and I know there's a few, a few really strong stories in there that like they will never forget who I am, right?
Right.
And that's what I want to be known for, the guy that really helped people in their business. Because dude, starting a business is hard.
Right.
It is
Yeah.
so hard. You're working 24/7 in the beginning. You're not paying yourself for the first probably year or two. Most people fail because they took the wrong information, the wrong advice, worked with the wrong person. And yeah, I pride myself in the fact that every customer we've done business with, it's put them in a better situation than when they
Yeah.
first came to us. And that's what it's all about for me, man.
Yeah. It's hard, but so worth it. And the people that you're
100%.
impacting their lives, they, like you said, they will remember you, and they're certainly going to
Yeah.
remember how you changed their life.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like,
Yeah.
and it's, like I said, I think about all the levels beyond that business owner, right? Like their
Yeah.
family and their kids and their kids' kids and there's so many people affected by each business that you drive past on your way to work or school every day. Like, there's so many people that their lives would be ruined if that business goes down, if that
Right.
business closes. But if that business truly expands, there's a lot of lives that are changed for the good. It's
Yeah.
and I don't think enough people think about that. So when you're
100%.
at a restaurant and you have a bad experience next time and you're thinking about blasting them on Google, think about that. Think about the waitresses and the dishwashers and the bussers and all the people that need as many people as possible to come into that restaurant. When you do that, you're taking mouths out of hundreds of people's lives.
Right. So
You
incredibly
may have
powerful.
had a bad experience, but you can always go and talk to the manager or the owner and say, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know this, this, and this," right? Because business owners, especially, are not intentionally trying to
Right.
make sure you have a bad experience. I can promise you that, right? Um, Sometimes you just got to bring it to their attention. It could be that employee had a bad day, the chef was having a bad day. There's so many different things, and I think people need to, just think more with their heart, and before they start, damaging a business. Now, obviously, if a business is doing something super shady and illegal, absolutely let the world know. But I think most of the time, it's not that. It was just, oh, there was a hair in your noodles. Like, I'm so sorry, right? Doesn't make that the dirtiest place ever, and I will never go back there, and nobody should go there, and all that stuff. Like, it's just, why? Why? There's so
Yeah.
many people that are affected by that.
Well, I so appreciate not really what you do, but how you do it. Right?
Appreciate it, man.
You're doing it in a way that I think is certain. I know is unique. You don't hear that a lot,
Yeah.
and I really I know you're impacting a lot of lives, and it sounds like you're just getting started. So keep doing
Appreciate
what
it,
you're
man.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy.
fantastic.
It's like it's been 8 years, but I feel like I'm just getting started.
Right.
It really,
I know the
you know,
feeling. I get you.
yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. If people
Thanks
want to
for
get in
having me
touch with
on.
you or Versa, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, I mean, versabusinesssystems.com. Really, I mean, you just Google Versa Business Systems and there's, articles and videos and websites and, we're pretty much everywhere. So, Anywhere you reach out to us on social media or email on our website, phone call, whatever. There's always someone available.
Definitely recommend following you because you're doing some great stuff out there. I appreciate your
I
time.
appreciate it. Thanks, Michael.
All right.